call the meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, everybody. Please join us for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have people tonight.
Yay!
Okay, additions to the agenda, we have employee appreciation, investments, and the treasurer. Is there anything else anybody knows? I entertain a motion to add these.
Second.
Yeah, yes.
The capital plan, outstanding stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And capital plan, is that okay, Michael? Okay. Friendly amendment? Okay, all those in favor, signify by aye. Michael? Brenda?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
And aye, the motion carries. Those will go under new business.
Okay.
Okay, open public comment for items not on the agenda. Please limit them to 3 minutes. Treasurer, would you like to go now?
Yes, please. I just wanted to address something that came up at the last Selectboard meeting with regard to a bill that had not been paid by the town. The very next morning I called and spoke to the company, or left a message. They called me back. They did confirm there was a bill from 5 years ago. I asked them what department it was for. They told me. And that was, at that time, we were having a problem with that department getting bills paid. I explained that to him. And I asked him 3 times to send the bill and I would make sure it gets paid, as he said he would not be able to do that because he's already written it off, and that would be like double dipping. I assured him, I said, if you decide to ever do business with us again, if you send the bill directly to the treasurer's office, I will make sure it gets paid. And any business, anybody that we do business with, if they're not getting paid, they can always contact my office. The number is 802-257-3077, or they can email me at treasurer@vernonvt.org, and I will make sure they're paid. But that's all I can do on this particular one.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the follow-up.
Thank you, Cindy. Emergency Management Quarterly Report. Looks like Santa Claus is here.
Well, good evening, everyone. Santa's been checking his list and he saw every one of you on one of those lists today. I guess you know which list.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation to come here. I will tell you that until yesterday, things had across the state had been pretty quiet. The late fall was pretty good. There were a few notifications from the state for flooding and weather that was not good. Yesterday certainly reared its ugly head to a lot of Vermonters. Fortunately, we here in Vernon, I don't know if we've lived right so far, but knocking on wood, we went unscathed with this. You know, Brattleboro had some issues, but that's normal with the Whetstone Brook. But that's probably the worst that's happened right now. We still obviously plan ahead. I meet regularly with the fire chief and the public works person to assist them in anything that they need. I meet regularly with the school. I'm part of their safety committee, so we get together every month and talk about different issues that may or may not come up in the schools throughout not only us but with the state. The emergency management office is still in the planning of moving here. We're closer than we've ever been. Right now, what we're waiting for is the generator to be started and tested and proven that it's ready to go. And then the sheriff's department, we've worked with them and they've cleaned out a good share of their records. However, making a visit here not too long ago, there's lots of records that we have to decide how and what we're gonna deal with. Some of them are personnel stuff, and some of them are law enforcement records that may have to stay in this secured facility for, I think forever, somebody mentioned. I don't know how long forever is, but, so some of that stuff will have to remain here, so we'll go through and figure that out. Excuse me, my goal is hopefully, once we get through the holidays now and get into 2024, is put the strong effort into making that work. At which time we'll leave the old Edson house and move up here. We still have not reorganized the group yet. However, there's been no event or anything to require us to jump on that. However, that is something that I need to take up as a task and get that done. As you all know, COVID is not gone away. That still is in the emergency management's purview, and we get regular updates on that. And I think for the last 2 years, you've heard me say the same thing. And the good news is that hasn't changed. What has changed is nothing. Wash your hands. If you test positive for COVID, stay home. And they're still recommending for 5 days. Masks are appropriate, however, they've left them for people to make their own decisions. There are vaccinations that are available for COVID. You could get them either through the pharmacy or through your own physician. And then there's the other airborne diseases, RSV, and a lot of those that are out, as well as, we have in the middle of the flu season. And that, even though yesterday was the balmy 50-something degrees, and today's 30-something, and so our bodies aren't used to that jumping and turning. So some of us will probably end up being sick at some point. However, that's not on my plan. That's not on my schedule. So I would encourage you all to look to see what you want to do for your COVID vaccinations and/or flu shots. VY, as you've been aware and made apprised of, they are right on schedule. They are doing very, very well down there. No incidents whatsoever. They probably will be one of the top teams that will go through the United States dismantling nuke plants. I can tell you for us, it's been kind of, and when we started into this, it was the unknown because there's not a lot of history to this. But they certainly, North Star has proven that they rank up there with the stars, if you will, so far. So that's it. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope 2024 is one of the better ones. And I'll answer any questions or anything that you may need.
Michael?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank
Merry Christmas.
Okay, town admin?
I don't have much to add. I'm working on the annual report. I've probably got about a third of it completed. And I have a phone conference tomorrow to start the changes and upgrades to the town website. That's all I have today.
Wow. Minute approval, December 5th?
Madam Chair, I move we approve the minutes of the Selectboard regular meeting Tuesday, December 5th.
Second.
Is, okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Jim? Tom?
Aye.
Jane?
Aye.
I don't know, I don't know if she carries. Sorry, Tom.
All
I
right.
was thinking Tim did a good job. Okay, warrant.
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant: 12T accounts payable, $73,785.48. 49S payroll, $10,845.24, and 50S payroll, $11,865.90.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Motion carries. Cemetery Committee appointment. This is Melissa Allen,
Yeah,
little missing.
yeah. I'm interested in joining the cemetery committee, and Mary Lynn Sherlin wanted me to introduce myself to the select board, and I didn't know exactly what's next, actually.
Yes. Well, we just need a motion to approve it. Joyce,
I would like to be on the committee too. So what do I do?
you talk to Mary Lynn.
She tells us to talk to you.
Okay, normally she gives us who she recommends.
Isn't that what she told you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay?
She said to talk to the select board.
Well,
It was up to them.
What?
How many vacancies are currently on the cemetery committee?
I'll resign.
And then everybody's happy.
There's at least 2 vacancies.
Then, fine,
We need a motion to add them.
okay.
This is Joyce Goodnow and Melissa Allen, if
Yeah,
that's what you're waiting for.
Yes.
I move that we appoint
So
Joyce
is- so-
Goodnow
so
and
is
Melissa
Mike.
Allen to the cemetery committee.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I thought everybody knew you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you've been put to work.
Did that give both names?
Did you give both names on that?
Yes, he
You
did.
Oh, okay.
I only heard the first
I only
name.
heard one.
Trash recyclable. You have all the documents in front of you. You want to give us the update, please?
Okay, so, I received the bids from, David Allen. He's contacted me, I think, about 4 times in the last 2 days, and so that he would be available to answer questions if you should have any. And if you'd like to have him meet with the board to discuss anything, he'd be more than happy to go over what they can offer and what they can't offer. I think that the bid speaks for itself, I think it's pretty clear. There's also a breakdown, from Bob Spencer with his comments of the bid.
Oh,
And there is also the contract figures from the last contract for comparison.
oops.
And we're one of many towns who are going through the same bidding process. We've used Triple T for many years, and now it's become Casella, so.
So we're looking at about a 10% increase in the collection
The problem,
and about,
the problem is that September 24th line that goes to fully automated, which it cannot support the town funds.
say that again, Michael, I'm sorry.
There's a line that says, September 2024, they go switch to fully automated.
Yeah,
We can't support that with a page through.
Yeah,
So this is no good
It
for us.
wouldn't be sustainable.
That was my
And
question.
the bid is only good for 30 days, if you read
It's
it
no good.
all the way
Doesn't
through. So, there's that.
doesn't accomplish what we're looking for.
why can't we go automated?
Because the pay-as-you-throw program doesn't work with that. We're only legally allowed to have a self-funded pay-as-you-throw
Right.
program.
Okay. Well,
So, I mean, they're automated in Brattleboro, right? I think so.
I don't
At
think
least-
that, not yet. They're in the same boat that we are. They were gonna be approached next. they're not automated, they're still picking everything up at the curb,
Their
from what I understand.
recycling and their compost is.
Okay, that's what I
Their
was
bags are
thinking.
still color coordinated on the street.
If they go to automation, are they supplying the buckets?
That's a whole nother
Because
ball of
if we
wax.
gotta buy the buckets, then we'll never be able
That's
to afford that.
$100 per stop.
Yeah, and that's, you gotta get a 64 gallon for trash or recycling, and then you get a smaller one.
Mhm.
Or you could go to every other week at that point too. You might be able to do something like that, but I know a lot of towns that have automated pickup that is all run by what we call an enterprise fund or a self-funding mechanism like we do here, but, yeah, I'm a little concerned with the recycling going up $5,500.
Cindy?
There's also no one to monitor whether or not people are using trash bags, regular trash bags or our trash bags.
Right.
If they can't monitor it, then how do
Right.
we know? And then we're gonna end up having to pay for
Mhm.
Right.
that.
And they do have rear view cameras, however, they are not gonna be monitoring
No.
and policing everybody.
No, they can go back in time, at the end of the day, if there's a concern or a complaint, they can go through the video and see, if somebody put a chair in a bag and it's, a big bag and they just dumped it in the thing, they can tell.
They can tell that, but they can't tell.
They can't tell the bags, you're right,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You can
not gonna
also
work,
have 3 trash bags and only the one on top is ours.
yeah.
Not saying that anybody would do that, but I'm just saying there's no one to monitor.
Yeah, there might be a person or two, but,
We put it back out for bid or not, or
Yes.
That's your decision.
Is there
It's all of our
any
decision.
other companies out there doing it different? I mean, I see there's a different company doing like Northfield, but I think they all have those big bins.
that new company.
Yeah.
I sent it out directly to, I think it was 8 of all of the local haulers. Bob Spencer's list.
I talked to a lot of them, and they said they weren't bidding.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to get in that game.
That's what I heard.
it's a
Same
tough
from
game.
Hinsdale when they called me today.
Trash is a tough game, and
Well, once you add verifying bags and stuff to their job, they
Mhm.
don't wanna do it.
yeah.
It's up to the pleasure of the board. If you want me to print it out again, I can print it out again.
Where are we on the
Yeah.
transfer station study?
Well, there wasn't much interest, but
Yeah.
there may be now. We could do something as basic as parking a truck and still doing the pay-as-you-throw bags
Mhm.
and then driving it and dropping it at the haulers.
They did that in Orange, Mass many years ago when their landfill was shut down. They contracted with the town of Orange. It was in New Salem, actually, where the problem was. And New Salem, Orange would send a truck up to New Salem once a week. And people, they used it as a mini transfer station. Yeah.
I move that we put the trash and recycling bid back out for bid, and we ask Tim to put out something to the town to remind them that we do not have a committee, and those that are worried about it should be encouraged to join the committee.
Mhm.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Is there further discussion from anybody?
Yes. Will there be a pre-bid conference so that people who might want to bid on it can come in and ask questions and get them answered?
We can do that. It was part of the bid that they can contact me.
Yeah.
My phone number, my email. I haven't received any correspondence from anybody.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just curious how other towns are paying for that system and if there is not a way with, I don't know, buying your trash pass monthly or I don't know,
I can have Bob Spencer come and meet with you because he has had a lot of experience with how a lot of towns do it, and he had recently gone to a conference about 2 months ago, and he's got some interesting information.
Yeah, I think
That
we should
would
get
be-
Bob here.
Well,
that would be
Again, next
good.
meeting.
I don't wanna just bag it if there wasn't
We
some
also-
other way we could get people to continue
We've
paying.
also got Sandra Rulowich
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, may I say something?
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm sorry I can't see you. Hi. Yeah, please do, Sandra.
I'm Sanford Woolwich. I'm your representative to the Wyndham Solid Waste Management District. And I talked with Bob today, and he thought maybe he's not here coming tonight, but at some point after you work through this, if you want to talk with him, I'll bring him into the conversation. He's perfectly willing to do so, happy to do so, because he lives here in Vernon too. But he's a great advocate for us. There are 18 towns in the management district. 7 of the towns have a transfer station. And these, all the populations are different, the circumstances are different. Brattleboro is very different. There are 3 towns that have trash and recycling pickup, including Brattleboro, Westminster, and Vernon. So Brattleboro does have the food scrap collection automatically picked up with your trash and recycling. It costs more to do that, obviously. But the towns that have the transfer stations, independent transfer stations, well, they're all a little different. One of them is especially interesting, I think, to us, perhaps, if we decide to evaluate that option. I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but Townsend has kind of a mini transfer station, and they have been able to operate this for some time at a fairly reasonable cost. Or now I think they're running, last year they ran about $62,000 a year. Anyway, it's worth asking questions about to see if it would apply here. The facility up on Ferry Road offers a lot of services. And already we have quite a few families from Vernon who have bought stickers and dropped their food scraps up there for free, but you can take advantage of their other services also. I mean, you have to self-haul it up there, but it might be a relatively good thing in comparison to the bid you have in your hands today. That bid is pretty rigid. We asked for ranges of operation. No deal. I thought, as reading it and, all the things that we talked about, we just shut it down. So, what if the time comes when you want to discuss some other options that Bob Spencer could help you with and can do some research for you, give you technical help, you can always reach out. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir?
I'm just wondering if we could buy into Northfields. It's just a little bit out of town. 142, it's not that
State
far.
lines of trash, I don't know how that works.
No, I don't know, I'm just thinking, they set it up.
Good thing to check.
It's just a thought. It may not be anything we can do, but
Or what their pricing is.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, did you approach them, but they didn't respond, or?
Not Northfield, no.
Well, the company that does Northfield, which is, I know it's some initials on there thing.
I don't know, I have to pull the list of all the companies that I've sent it to. But,
'Cause that's a newer company, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's like AGH, they do the containers
AG.
though.
Yeah.
I can look into it.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they're still at a more reasonable rate.
Further discussion? All those in favor of that motion? I don't think we voted yet.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Brandon.
Aye.
Jean.
Aye.
Aye.
So
Motion
you're
carries.
here by Freddie and Stan trash.
Thank you. Okay, employee appreciation.
Humbug.
Okay, so at the last department head meeting, I had polled all the department heads and asked them to go back to all their employees to see how they would best feel appreciated. And they came back and said that they would really enjoy the gift cards again. They really appreciated it last year, and so I had Cindy put together the numbers so that we could do that during the holiday season for the employees.
This is separate and distinct from the fire department, right?
I should get the list, I
Yeah.
think, attached.
And what kind of cards? Gas cards or Amazon cards or?
Visa, so
Visa
they're
gift
flexible and
cards?
usable everywhere.
Yep.
What is your pleasure?
I move we approve the gift cards for 19 employees at $75 a piece and a $3.95 cost per card. Total $1,500.05 roughly. And it's within the budget, so I would move this.
Is there a second? Is there discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jean? You can't vote.
I recuse myself.
Aye, the motion carries.
Oh, I better change that to 401.
Okay, thank you. Capital plan. Sandra, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for hearing me.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the information.
There's just still a few things that we haven't finished getting finalized in here. The town van, do we wanna change the need year? We don't have the funds
Yes.
right now. And it's not, gonna strand our seniors, at least in the next year. I know that's not what the senior committee wants, but,
Town van.
How short are we?
right now, there's $100,000.
And the van is,
The van right now is 126.
but if we order it after January, it goes up 10%, is that right?
5%,
5%?
yes. So if we wait, it goes up to about 132.
Okay.
I mean, that's rough 5% math. I mean, there's no guarantee what the exact price
And
will
what's
be.
our ARPA balance? Roughly, couple
Roughly.
100,000?
A little less than half,
Yeah, I'd like to get a report.
300 and, I'm trying to remember if I.
Do you know, Cindy?
It's about 270 something thousand right now. I don't have all of the bills. That's what's left. Approximately.
We also need a tanker for the fire department.
I know, but that's a whole different level of
Okay.
discussion than
There's
the
a few
senior
like
van.
big dollar things in here, just wanted to remind you that like.
There's a lot more commas on that one, so we
There is, for sure.
I think that, if we wait another year, it's gonna go up. And we may not, we're gonna, I think this is an excellent use of ARPA funding to make up the difference and keep them on schedule. I understand the van's running pretty good, I get that, but I think it makes sense to keep things on schedule if you can.
Okay, I mean,
I have
that's,
a question. Is the van gonna go out to like the pump did to the fire department for auction, or is it just gonna be closed bid like the town truck was that nobody knew about?
I think it's gonna be traded.
It's gonna be traded. Do we know what the trade value was already?
they have not given that because they have to see the van, but they did, I believe the committee did send pictures or was going to, I'm not sure.
I think they said.
They were talking to, the committee was talking to the van companies about possibly you know, some value in trade, so.
So
Are
would
there
that
any
bring the
other
price
committees that
down?
deal with the town van, or is it just the seniors?
No, just
I think it's mostly,
primarily the seniors.
yeah, and the highway department, I think, works with them on that.
Sounds like
Yeah, I mean,
a town
I'd
meeting
like to see
question.
what they're offering for it before we make that decision.
Yeah.
Because
Alright, so we need to get that figure probably soon, so this can be,
Yeah,
okay.
either or is okay, I guess, but I think that's just
I agree
what,
with you, purchasing it with the ARPA funds this year to save us the money for the future
yeah.
is there, but we need to figure out what they, make a decision on how they're gonna.
Well, why don't we fund the whole thing less whatever is provided in trade?
If they're not gonna give us dirt for a trade, we should not trade it and
Sell
sell it.
Yeah, that's true too.
Joyce,
I have a question. If there's nothing wrong with the van, why would we trade it?
So the new van is not gonna be they're not gonna need an endorsement for drivers right now, only people with an endorsement can drive the current van.
But if this was a town vehicle that you wanted it, you would wait till it was at its,
No,
used its life, yeah, you do.
not, okay.
I ride the senior van,
Yeah,
and I
I,
see nothing wrong with it.
It's what the capital plan is for. It's the projected based on when the van's gonna start breaking. And that's why you replace it a certain amount of years.
It was actually projected, the original projection date for it was 22-23. So technically, we're over the original date it was determined.
But it still runs fine.
It
Well,
had
the
a couple
tankers
of
got
years where
moved
it
out
wasn't
10
used
years,
that
12
much.
years, 15
And I-
years, 20 years.
I think that made a difference.
you know, well, that's.
That's a
because-
fire truck, so it's less important than the town van, I get it.
Well, no, it's just that those are $1 million plus capital items that, you know, when we figured we were gonna buy them, they were probably 800,000. And in the last 2 to 3 years, they've all gone up 10%, 20% a year.
We're still like 450,000 short then.
Yeah,
So I feel like the
I know. That's,
I think if we look at this plan as a whole, we have a crisis on our hands. And if we're gonna go through and rank, you know, what we need, what's of most importance, where does this van land? For me, it's fairly low on the list.
but it has different accessibility features that I think
understand,
are,
Tom,
that are important to the people that use that van.
I hear you.
You know, that, you know, but that's just me. That's,
I guess we'll work on that trading value. And then we can bring this, I'll come back on the next meeting.
okay.
I'll just keep coming back until we get it figured out.
I do have another
Thank you.
question, because the
Okay.
gentleman brought up something. What is a closed bid municipally?
When we received them back in the mail.
Did we advertise that they were gonna be for sale? Did we put an ad in the paper?
I was just trying to figure out why the town truck went for $700 when, I mean, me personally, I would have paid double that for it if I'd have known.
Selectboard, I didn't even know it out for me.
Yeah, I
So it
didn't
came
even.
back.
It's kinda caught me odd,
Well,
so,
That was the.
that's kind of how the town bus went too, so that's why I thought it was a little odd.
well, we knew the, yeah.
No, the old town bus
Oh.
that the school used to have went the same way.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knew about it until it was gone.
Where's this stuff advertised, Shelley? Just, that's a general
The
rule.
reformer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
our-
advertised, because we paid for the advertising.
Okay.
Well, that's where we have to do it. We choose every year what sources we're using.
No, no, just.
So if you don't get the reformer, you don't.
Can you put it on the website?
on the
Usually we have to
For
choose
bid?
certain
I
a
don't
new
know.
source
I don't know if it was
every
put on-
year,
I don't think it was put
and
on the
that's when we
website.
chose, cause it's
Yeah.
really the only one out there.
But can't the town of Vernon website or something share that
It
post?
could've been used as well.
The website's
I
very
agree.
huge, so,
I know.
so I don't know.
But if you're in the loop and you didn't get it, the rest of us didn't get it either.
There's only 2 people in the loop and they both bid, so.
Okay, perfect. It's all said and done, let's move on with the next item.
All right.
Did you get a chance to reach out to the chief to answer his questions?
So I have some answers to that. The tanker truck, we don't have an answer to. I don't know when or how we're gonna talk about the tanker truck.
Let's see,
That's the big,
that's the big one.
that, right. I don't know.
That's ancient.
I don't even know that the capital plan can handle that.
No, I think that's something the chief and the select board needed to talk about.
Okay.
I said that before.
Okay. That's fine.
I just got chewed out about that, so.
Maybe we should ask the chief to come in.
Yeah.
Treasurer.
There's a few more fire station things. So the roof, I guess we're still waiting on that assessment.
Oh,
You know, I know that we sorted out the, you know, the other thing, but still need an assessment so I can put an amount on the capital plan. So when the roof comes due, we have the money, so I need that amount. I also need an amount for the outside paint and trim, still haven't gotten an amount on that for the fire station.
Is he working on that actively?
I was told, he told my committee member he was, but I haven't gotten that answer yet. So I need,
That's
again,
when the email I sent to you, he asked how you wanted that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a response back from you to him.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been going through my email. I'll, if you would resend that to
Yep.
me, my apologies. I even tonight I was going, let me make sure, and I ran everybody's name individually to make sure I hadn't missed anything, and I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything from anybody, so I guess there aren't any updates, so. I don't know when you sent it, but my email's been doing some funny things. I found some stuff in my trash that I
December
don't
6th.
remember ever seeing, so,
December 6th.
oh, wow, okay. I'll look back at that, thank you. But yeah, send that, just resend it to make sure it's at the top, and I'll look at that tonight. So the radios, yes, we did buy radios, I did get that, and, he talked to, Shelley. There were radios purchased, that is correct. However, the radios that got replaced are not radios that have the capability to talk with like Massachusetts and some other districts that we have to communicate with because they have a different
I have actually emailed.
frequency or different something or other. So he's looking at grants.
So here it is. I have the actual email, and I'm just throwing it for random information.
Okay.
The ones the town purchased using ARPA funding replaced the portable ones that were used previously to individual members. The units that we use most frequently. This did not include mobile radios mounted on the trucks, nor the radios that are utilized to communicate with agencies in Massachusetts who operate at a completely different frequency and require a different bandwidth. It should be noted that Massachusetts' recent upgrades in their communication system, we cannot talk directly to them anymore unless they bring their mobile van in. And then he said, we have been pursuing grant options to fulfill this need. I will go through the pricing that was compiled for the grant with Chief Goddard was working on.
So yeah, so I'll be getting a figure, on that, once he gets that compiled, because it should go on here. If we get a grant for it, wonderful, we'll just take it up, but we have to plan for it anyway. So yeah, so, and I will respond to that email when I get home. Alright, so, and then, again, the furnace is part of the fire station as well, the furnace one, that was the fire station.
Yeah.
So I just need amounts on those so I can put
Yeah,
them
he
in the
just didn't
capital.
want, he asked if you needed 3 quotes or 1.
I only need, for the capital plan, we don't actually need, we just need, probably the highest quote. I think it says in the outline of the capital plan rules that we go on the highest level of cost. That way, when we actually make the purchase, we hopefully will fall under that and we'll have enough money in the budget. So probably the highest one is probably the best, and then if we don't need it all, wonderful. I still have some outstanding questions on the capital ER reserve fund that I have not gotten answers to. I chose to not respond to the emails that I received on them. In the most polite way that I can figure out how to say it, I have received very snarky responses. My husband has been spoken to snarkily about me, instead of getting answers. I asked for clarification. Just for the record, I have never gone behind anyone's back to get information. All the information I've gotten And the last email I asked for clarification was after the last select board meeting. Based on what I heard at the select board meeting, I sent a follow-up email to Cindy. She responded very negatively to me, did not give me my answers, and was very snarky. I don't think I deserved that. I was very polite. I said, this is how I understood the information at the select board. Am I understanding it correctly? Because I don't want to put it in here unless I understand from the appropriate authorities what I'm putting in. And the response I got back was, I don't appreciate you going behind my back and going around me, and I still haven't gotten my answers.
I did give her the answer that information that I had given her was the only information that I had. I can't provide information if I don't have the paperwork. I did not say she went behind my back. I asked her not to bypass me and going directly to Gordon.
Which I never did.
Because when you said the information you had was there was $12,000 from Gordon.
I received that information and I said, shared by Gordon Christensen at the select board meeting.
And I said, you can't go by what Gordon tells you because we don't have the information. He has not provided it. And if we use that information that he just willy-nilly threw out there, it's not gonna be accurate.
Okay.
And I did reply, I said, no, you are not correct. There is no money. As of the end of it, the money you can use has to be what was in the fund or as of June 30th. You can't use anything else. And the last statement I got from him shows a negative balance. There's no money to offset, and I can't make money appear, even if he says it's there. He hasn't broken it out for me. He hasn't done anything since the last meeting. He gave me this very brief thing for a month and a half, which gave me nothing. Does not tell me anything about what happened in the last 5 years. I can't provide what I'm not given. I can only go by what I have in my hand. I have to agree, my books have to agree with what he tells us. If they don't, then the auditors are gonna be very happy with us.
All right, thank you.
It's an unfortunate situation.
Okay.
I still haven't received my questions about the current balance of the ER capital fund, what expenditures were made, or any monies that might have been returned back to that fund from budgets.
Okay.
The emergency capital plan fund has nothing to do with the capital fund. I gave her what is in the capital fund. The emergency capital fund can only be utilized in an emergency.
I didn't ask to utilize it. It's my understanding from reading the guidelines of my committee, we are supposed to track that information.
Well, I'm sorry, but no, the fund has, nobody's ever tracked it before. And I wanted to make it very clear that, yes, there are funds there, but those funds cannot be utilized for purchasing anything in the capital.
You said it's none of your business.
I did not say it wasn't your business.
You did not say those funds can't be utilized in the capital plan.
They cannot
You
be
did not
used.
say that.
Well, now we know they can't.
They cannot.
And I didn't ask for them to be. I was simply asking for the information because it was my understanding, and every year I've asked the same question. And I've never been told it was none of my business until this year.
No
Where'd the
one's
rest of the
ever
money
asked.
for the brush truck come from then?
The
So
brush truck
that was ARPA.
came out
ARPA funds?
ARPA funds and what was in the capital plan.
Yep.
Emergency capital was only for emergencies such as.
Right, I was just curious, they got ARPA funds, whatever.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just didn't know.
Yes, Tom?
I
Please, thank you.
have a question, but I'd have to ask the chief. Both on the new fire truck, pumper or tanker, and these radios, has a safer grant been applied for? And that's not on you, I'm just asking it, being rural, being small, we should be in
That's
pretty
probably
good
the
shape.
Grant that Chief Goddard was working on for all the small departments around here.
Okay, I don't know, I don't know
You'd
what
have to ask him.
the chief up in Putney's doing.
It's a good question, because years ago, the last fire truck that we purchased, we had a grant for a portion of it.
You might even be able to get an Economic Development Administration grant for it, because they've got a whole rural section. It takes time, so if you're expecting to be able to buy it in July, if it were approved, that's not gonna happen, it'd be a year from July, but, I think someone ought to get a hold of Welch's office, or Congresswoman Ballant's office and see when the safer rounds are, because they'll be able to pull that. They've got a staff person that just does grant funding for municipalities. Type person.
I would just like to circle back to the capital emergency fund, which, reading the guidelines for the capital plan, nothing is jumping out at me that you are supposed to be tracking the emergency fund. The two are separate. It seems like you are supposed to be tracking things for the capital plan and reviewing the bids on things for the, from the capital plan, but there's no mention of the capital plan committee keeping track of the capital emergency fund, which is really the treasurer, because she's gotta work with the departments that are involved in that. What the capital plan does do is get to have the interest off the emergency fund, which is non-existent right now. And that can offset the cost of our capital plan. But the two are very separate, other than that interest moving over to the capital plan. So the emergency plan is not anything for you to worry about, because those expenditures actually go between the department and Cindy and the select board, and it's not the capital plan committee.
I had brought it up at a previous select board meeting, and I didn't get that impression from you all that I wasn't supposed to know.
You're all supposed to have some clarification.
It's not that you're not supposed to know, everything a town does is pretty much public information, but it's
But yet I
not a
still don't
duty.
have- Okay.
It's not a duty.
Well, I still don't have the answers, even as a town taxpayer.
Well, then it must be $1,253,952.77 as of June 30th, 2020.
So,
Is that correct? So that's the amount that's in it.
Oh. I didn't.
I'm a little concerned on the communication, good, bad, or indifferent. I think we've got a capital planning committee that's working really hard right now, and it's very much appreciated. It really is, and I want you to understand that. So, but I think perhaps there seems to be a communication void or misinterpretation or on number of different ways of information coming in. So perhaps the town administrator could set up a sit down and maybe work out some protocol so everybody's on the same page, not to interfere with the duties and responsibilities of anybody else, but to see if we can bridge this chasm that we seem to have, because we're too small a town with too many important things to do. That may be helpful, and I'd be, if the town administrator wants a third party in the meeting, and one of us, I bet I would take time off and do that. But I don't want to lose the momentum of what the capital planning committee is doing right now. But I want to be sure that the treasurer, the town administrator, and the capital planning leadership is walking the same path. I think that's really important.
I have one more thing about, I don't know if it's clarification, I don't know if you want to clarify it with me as the capital plan chair or as a taxpayer. But the information Gordy shared says that we earn $12,076.50 of interest, actual money, interest into the account of the ER Capital Reserve. And that was the information that he had, that he passed out at the last meeting. I received a response from Shelley saying that any interest we got gets sort of wiped out because of the on paper value of the bonds. My question is that a decision we get to make, or is that a town thing? The town said any interest earned has to be applied to the capital plan, and that's the way it is with many of the funds. The town had voted that interest earned on certain things. Do we get to decide that because somewhere else money was lost or didn't come the way we wanted it to, that we can use the interest to make up that difference? I don't.
So when Gordy gives us the reports, it shows the interest. However, at the end, it shows the loss if we were to liquidate. And that's what we have to go by. So the loss ends up canceling out the interest, and the
But
state
the loss
requires.
isn't actual money loss.
It doesn't matter. That's the report that he gives to us, and we're required by the state to report it as such until he gives us a report that doesn't reflect that and just shows us
Is
the
this
interest.
gonna be explained to the towns?
We have gone round and round, tried to get those reports.
I mean,
and
I don't know how to
understand.
explain this to the towns.
No.
Well-
As a taxpayer and having my own like accounts and things and understanding how all that works, my bank doesn't, my account people don't keep my interest just because on paper my value of my bonds is down. Yes, I get the same reports. I don't go through Gordy, but I get reports from mine, and it shows, yep, your value is this, however, you did earn this much interest.
But it's not the value of the bonds, it's if you were to liquidate it, which is the.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, there's actual money that got put in there, the interest. And then there's the on paper, if we were to sell it right now, loss.
However,
That's not actual money.
with the inadequate reporting, that's how we have to,
Okay.
that's sort of what we have to use.
As a taxpayer, I'm hoping this is explained better at town meeting to all the tax people. Because, like I said, my investment people, my bank doesn't get to keep my interest because on paper, my perceived value has gone down. They still have to give me my interest.
Okay, Cindy?
We're held to a
To
different level of
spend.
state statute, unfortunately.
Okay.
Not like a private entity or a person.
Unfortunately, I understand what Kat is saying, and I have gone over this with Gordon a number of times, as you all know. He is providing me at the end of each quarter showing a loss. I had the auditors here auditing my books, and I brought the reports down and showed it to them. And they said I have to show a loss, because that's what he's showing. And I have to agree with him. I can't take the interest that's in that and break it out amongst the 17 different funds and come up with my own report. That's not legal.
So the
can't do it.
interest that he's showing is for everything combined.
He shows, he breaks down each one, but he shows a loss every quarter. And I have asked him why are we investing money if we're not making anything? Oh, well, at the end of the time, you'll still have your $100,000 or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but what's happened to interest in the dividends and stuff that we used to get when we were with the other facility? And he's like, well, this is what your funds are worth. This is what it's worth.
I could put it in my mattress and keep it
Yeah, that's what I
at
said.
zero.
That's exactly what I said.
Kevin?
If I remember correctly, being lucky enough to come to these meetings, over the past few years, when they've talked about the capital fund or the emergency capital fund or something like that, and the boards have asked, how much interest are we going to be able to carry over? And the answer is always, well, there's no interest. Because there was a loss in this, that, and the next thing. And then, correct me if I'm getting wrong information here, but now all of a sudden there's this big chunk of change that's been in some kind of savings account fund or whatever, that all of a sudden it's, poof, here's this money. And I guess I'm confused.
For the last 3 years at town meeting, people have asked me, and I've said, our investments are not making any income. And not one time did he correct me on that. Until now, all of a sudden, he's saying it, but he's still not providing me with the information. I asked him for it, I even showed what I needed, if you remember correctly, and it's not being provided.
Michael,
Okay, so when you normally call somebody, if you don't get what you want, do you ask for their boss?
He doesn't have a boss.
He does, they all do.
Shelley researched it.
Then we can
He's
ask.
a one-person office with a secretary, that's it.
But there's gotta be a
But there's
district manager or a
There's usually
regional
somebody
manager.
above all of them, I could find out if you want me to.
Yeah,
Shelley was researching that
I looked
today.
really quick and he doesn't have any additional.
Somebody
Cause my
Right.
friend is
Yes.
one in Brattleboro, and there's one person in Brattleboro who's over all the ones in Brattleboro. There's more than one
Somebody
office in
guides his
Greenfield.
ability to do his work.
I hope so.
There's an overseeing, at the very least, an overseeing board of everything.
It's sad, everybody's been given the wrong, incomplete information.
Yeah, we've not been, yeah.
We will
It's
definitely,
unfortunate, it's very frustrating, but I don't, I've come to the board many times over the past 3 years and said, I don't understand what's going on.
Okay.
okay, we're going to dig into this.
I can
Merry
help get that
Christmas.
information tomorrow if you need.
That would be great.
Thank
I can help you with that.
Thank you for your listening, and thank you for your work, Kat. We are really,
No, the capital plans and
we're very
getting to
pleased
be in
with
good, great shape.
Okay. We're gonna get
I'll be
more.
back next month and we'll work on getting those.
Yeah,
You and I can figure out how to get all the other questions answered.
That would be great. Okay, investments. What a good timing. Okay. Obviously, we have a situation with investments. Do we need to go into executive session? Or not?
I don't think so.
Okay. We added the investments, Jim.
Yeah, I know, do we have anything, information? I'm not sure what we're thinking about. Oh, that is, okay, I saw that somewhere.
Grievances, pending, grievances,
But
you don't think so?
I think if we're dealing with the town's money,
I have no problem with that part, but we're dealing with a personnel issue probably at the same time,
we're dealing with a personnel issue,
with the investment
we're dealing with a contractor.
contractor.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Yeah, no, it should be as much transparency as possible.
I'm for it. Just trying to, okay. Floor is open. Shelley, you wanna give us an update?
All right, on the investments, on the new information, okay. So, Cindy's been working very hard on this to try to find a resolution to the investments. And so, we've been working with M&T Bank, and they have been contacted on 2 different levels for our investments. And Cindy posed the question, is it possible for them to take over the administration of all of the investments, leave them where they are so we don't lose any money, and have a new investment firm to handle everything? And they said that they can, and they would, and the only thing that they were uncomfortable with was the past decisions that were made with the very long-term investments, and they don't want to be held responsible for that, or someone to look back and say, who made those investment choices. And I said, well, if they had an issue with that, maybe we could put something in writing saying, from this point on, if they take everything over, what was in the past was in the past, was not them. And so we have that opportunity to pursue that. And so,
Do we have a written contract for service with the current investment manager?
I don't believe so.
So there'd be no contract, I don't wanna say violation, but breach or termination.
I don't think that.
I think it would be a question that would be to protect the town.
Mhm.
I am all for what is being offered here, but I think to protect the town, and I know it's not always timely, but you should probably get an opinion from council.
Okay.
wouldn't there, you would know this, Sandy, wouldn't there be a recording of that contract? And it should be in the town clerk's
Book
office?
40, I think. Book 40, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could check with Tim.
Yeah.
And see if he has it.
But I think you should talk, I support what the idea is here, but to be sure that the town's walking on good, solid footing, I would want council to tell us that we're walking on good, solid footing.
I can do that. I'll get in touch with them. I can do that.
Would you like to take a ride with me tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay, I think we'll get in touch with them.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Oh, you can stop at Allen's. No, donuts.
Okay, we're on to budget review.
Yeah, I just, a question, Cindy, are you okay with that? Checking with council first? Okay, I know you've worked really hard on this, so I just,
Yes,
but I think we need to.
probably a good idea.
Yeah, we're not doubting you at all.
Also likes to dot our i's and cross our t's.
Yeah. Okay, so budgets.
Okay, library.
Yay. It's not enough.
That sounds pretty What's the difference from the last time?
So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, not at all. I'm honest, I'm probably gonna pass most of the questions to Jean because she's the expert. But the difference is that we have added a part-time youth services librarian. The reason that we specified it as a youth services librarian is, well, first and foremost, because we asked Jean what would be most helpful, and that's what Jean said. But also, the trustees have been doing a bit of work looking into, among other things, duties of library staff. And because there used to be a youth services librarian, but we at present do not have one, we were reviewing the responsibilities that, frankly, our library director has taken over in addition to all of the responsibilities of the library director. And then also some of the responsibilities that don't always get done because Jean is amazing and wonderful, but she's one human being. So that's why it is specified as a youth services librarian. And additionally, that's been supported by the trustees' work surveying our town and the public, and they've requested additional services and programs, and a number of those have been within the realm of what a youth services librarian would be able to do and have expertise to handle.
That's great. Board, do we have any questions? Mine was answered. We don't vote on yours, we just,
No, we're gonna submit an article for the lump sum.
looks great. Thank you for supporting your librarian.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks to our wonderful librarian.
Yes.
Thanks to all of you.
Okay, cemetery.
We're not there yet.
What's the change in that one?
Caretaking,
The caretaking service?
supply, repair and maintenance.
It's up $13,000?
Yes, can I explain?
Go ahead.
Mary Lynn's not here, but, because the cemetery contract runs differently than the fiscal year, you got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was the difference. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. General. What goes there?
That's tab 5, right?
Yes, thank you. And the change there?
website hosting. It's increased slightly.
Pardon me?
The
The
website,
website.
yep. We have a new contract, so that's changed.
Okay, go ahead, Thomas. Can you-
No, I'm just going down the lines.
All right. Any questions, board? Okay. Did we get the final figures from VLCT, or is this an estimate?
we'll look here. That's the final figure.
That's the 95,000?
That's a later line.
You mean the VLC, that line item, VLCT cities and towns?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the,
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at the insurance and bonds.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that. And the insurance is just our liability insurance, correct? Errors and emissions and that type of stuff?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Cindy can confirm.
Alright. And you're not seeing a 10 to 15% kick in property insurance? Have you got the bill for next year?
That would be Cindy, yeah.
Yeah, I venture to guess this is gonna be low, given what's going on.
yeah, I
with
was
the-
just told to put in until we had
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But I bet you this is gonna be up another
I-
$15,000.
I can contact them and see if they've got any figures yet.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just know if you level funding the line, the insurance line, things are they're kicking up everywhere. Well,
The last year, our actuals were 61.
yeah, no, maybe you'll be okay.
Okay, we'll move on to select board.
Tab 4. Libertines. You have no idea.
I was going to give a sympathy for him.
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Yeah,
We have a compensatory time.
thank you.
You're welcome.
How did we take care of it this year?
The reserve.
Reserve fund. Because I think that's what the decision was.
Yeah,
That was
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
motion made.
yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Last side here, I got a question.
You got a ruler, don't you?
I don't know why the miscellaneous budget went from 95 to,
We use that for the wage and salary. survey.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you say that again? I didn't hear you.
We use that for the wage and salary survey. There was extra money put in there to do a wage and salary survey for all town
Well, then we
positions.
dropped it back down.
And
Okay.
then we dropped it back down because we didn't need to do it.
Thank you.
Joe?
And we're not putting any money into the green up on the state level
No.
this year? Okay.
We've never been charged anything, so we took it out.
Okay.
Jesse, did
Wow.
you put in for your fire permits?
So the issue, I hate speaking on it without JJ here. The issue that him and I have run into every year is that permit-wise, this town actually does really well with calling and at least saying, hey, can I burn today? So we only end up with about a quarter of what we ought to have in the budget for him and I to get paid, so we usually just split it.
Okay, I just wanna make sure you're putting it in.
Yeah, no one,
Well, I'm saying I don't put it in because I end up with, 900 and something people that end up getting permits over the course of a year, and there's only $500 in the budget. JJ and I just split it, so
yeah,
we just say, yep, whatever, it's 500, split it in half, that's what we both get.
JJ never gives me the exact figures, so we have no way of. He doesn't-
Right, if we got the exact figures, we'd be
No.
way over
No,
budget,
that's what I'm
so.
saying, if I got the exact figures, then I would know that it needs to be raised, but, and I'm not
Oh,
blaming
no,
him.
him and I have always just been okay with doing it that
Okay.
way, so we have. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
we
That's
just
fine.
kinda split it.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's no different than like, the animal control and constable stuff, there was never any money there before, so somebody could have been a little bit more apt to amount to a little more if I'd have known that there could have been a $7,000 payday at the end of it.
Well, okay.
It's never too late.
Well, thank you for what you do anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
Okay. And we're not gonna need to buy any new computers or printers or tech software upgrades or,
We're good until 2025.
okay.
I'm pretty sure. Because Bill Vermouth, put me on notice that we're gonna have to do some upgrades. It's gonna be $1,000 per computer.
Yeah,
I think we've got 3 that are gonna have to be done.
we're gonna go to 365.
I don't know,
Okay.
who knows what's gonna be around at that point.
All right,
They keep changing everything on the
they do
licensing.
indeed.
I have questions.
Okay, what's your question?
Again, JJ's not here, but I know that with all of the discussion with the fire department on the new radios and stuff, him and I were also looking at some point to meet with you guys for radios for him and I that are fire warden specific, so that we're no longer relying on the department's radios. Basically, it'd end up being a line item for the town, for the fire wardens, just to be able to, I don't know if he was talking mobiles, portables, what he was thinking, but just so that's on your radar too, we're not sure where to go with that, but he said he was gonna try to bring it up before town meeting.
Yeah, probably before we finish the.
Well, just cause we don't want it to be part of the fire department's
Okay,
budget when it's really not, it's a town,
other public
Yeah.
safety. Yeah, have them get us the figures.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going other public safety, right?
Yeah, the other public safety, yeah.
That's where I was.
Sorry, I wasn't. Oh, okay.
The only increase I think we have is rescues increase.
Okay.
Tom, at the last meeting, you requested to know what the effect would be on the tax rate.
Yeah,
So on the last page, it's highlight, I put down what it would, at this point, what this budget you're looking at, how it
on the
would
last
affect
page of what?
of your budget. Worksheet. So
Under
it's
tab 19.
after highway, road, it's road equipment,
Behind tab 19.
repair and maintenance, and
Behind
it's,
tab 19?
Yep.
oh,
Thank you. Ah,
and that's what the increase would be.
310,000?
No,
The 5140 per
look over,
100.
look over that way.
0.0514
On the other
or
side.
5140 per $100,000.
It's highlight?
Bright yellow.
So it's gonna go up $51 per 100,000 estimated if everything in the budget went as is today.
That's the whole budget, not just the highway portion.
Right, right, that's the whole thing.
Just on the highway portion.
That darn truck was expensive.
Must not have that new tanker in it, huh?
We'll work it in.
A question for the town administrator? Madam Town Administrator, would you consider this budget to be greater than or less than or equal to level service? As opposed to level funding?
I would say level service.
With the exception of the library that's proposing a half-time person. Right, but that's a separate vote anyways, but that's,
That's absolutely
yeah.
separate, yeah.
and I don't not support that position, I think it's good, but.
The way you said it though made everybody else in town watching this think that you didn't support it.
Yeah.
I support Gene.
I do too.
Nobody there.
But if they watched the last meeting, they would have seen his strong support.
CCTV and us.
I'm very supporting.
Yes.
Cat's here.
Libraries are the great
He's the
equalizer.
only one that logs in.
Okay, next on the agenda is an executive session for Alice J. Brooks on request.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
I see your cousin.
Whoa, yeah, I'm just trying to see what exemption. I know we've done it before, I'm just. Five?
Well, and I don't know if the email.
I'm getting there.
Shared, but I didn't. That you quoted?
Okay, yeah, I gotta find that.
Okay.
Like, I even went back to read some of the
Yeah.
ones between the.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe even ones that I knew were there.
Madam Chair, I move that we enter an executive session under exemption 5, which is discussion or consideration of
Have a good
records or
night.
documents
Happy holidays.
accepted from public access to public records law.
Yes, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Michael, Brandon,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and I, the motion's unanimous. 7:36. We went into executive session at 7:46, came out at 8 o'clock. No action was taken. Sir,
I move that we spend $756.24 out of the
Alice Jacobs.
Alice J. Brooks Memorial Fund to assist a resident.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And an aye, the motion's unanimous. Our next meeting will be January 2nd.
Okay.
In 2024, we do not expect to see, well, I'll see you, but the rest of you, I don't expect to see for a whole year,
Till next year.
until next year.
See you
Merry
next year.
Christmas.
Well, we're gonna come over Christmas Eve.
Well, I'm playing in Hinsville. Have to come
What are
over.
you playing?
Piano.
Excellent. I can come over and sing.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
No,
No, I can't.
We got a set of drums there.
Well, that would be fun.
That would be. And we could, we let you.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
We all,
So moved.
second.
All those in favor, Michael,
Aye.
Brandon.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are out of.
Shelley,
here.
thank you.
Very well. 8:02, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Same to you.
Brian,
Ho,
thank you.
ho, ho.
Same to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes.